The 166th meeting between Indiana and Michigan on the hardwood will be Archie Miller's first meeting as the Indiana head coach against these Michigan Wolverines, and the 5 led by the freshman. So you have Durham back in the starting lineup, making just his 3rd start, along with Johnson, Newkirk, Morgan, and the sophomore Deron Davis, who played very well against Duke on Wednesday in a loss. And for the Michigan Wolverines, the freshman at the point as well, with Eli Brooks, joined by Abdul Rahman, Matthews, Robinson, and Wagner, for the veteran head coach, John Beilein, whose first head coaching job was at New Thane High School in Western New York in 1975. He's been a head coach ever since and led Michigan to the Big Ten tournament title. The first of 42 regular season games on CBS. Indiana versus Michigan.
Got your breath here, Carter. Well, we prepared the defense. A little miscue on the opening tip, and we know the Hoosiers are going to go a little bit.
So Michigan and Indiana both coming off losses against ACC heavyweights. Indiana playing a tight one against number 1 Duke, and Michigan getting blown out by North Carolina. So we'll see how both respond, and that's an offensive foul to get it started.
And Matthews looked over the top of a nice cross screen. The ball got there a little late on the entry. And forced Big Mo to the other side. Now, Indiana has really caressed effectively the basketball. Limited the turnovers, doing a solid job, and that's helped them. Also, their dribble drive ability is very creative. You got to keep them out of the lane.
Newkirk brings it up. Durham at the 2, both play point. Morgan left wide open, late close from Robinson, and Morgan couldn't take advantage.
And he can shoot it, but he's not shooting it as well from deep as they would like. Little overload, curl, pop out, where they stretch the D, and this is the difficulty of Indiana. They love to keep you out of the lane. This team loves to spread you.
9 to shoot. Back into the hands of Abdul Rahman.
He's got to play well, I think, for this team to have a good year.
Brooks in the corner misses his first look. Freshman from Spring Grove, Pennsylvania.
Promising. Going to be tough as the year progresses. Good
Durham taken away by Robinson. Wolverines on the run. Hoosiers get back.
We've got to get up on Robinson on that quick jack. Great look. This drags the bigs away from the basket. Takes away the bulk and the inside slice cut. There's the pick and pop.
Brooks into the corner for Poole. Early minutes for Jordan Poole. Misses his first look.
Indiana's really doing a nice job defensively, too. Right there on the catch with the shooters. Nice drop step. How about that?
Davis with a left. And
everything but.
Yeah, we have a combined 0 for 5 shooting start between the two. Crossover. Abdul Rahman to the corner. Robinson all alone for the game's first points.
When you go to Exeter and Williams in Michigan, you know how to get free. A little drive, draw, and find. Rahman.
Newkirk off the shot fake. Step in. Boarded by Robinson.
You got to be careful of the early drag screen and the slap back for 3.
Abdul Rahman passes on it.
Nice.
And Poole knocks it down.
Unselfish by Rahman. Boy, they get the ball around the corner, don't they?
So Beilein goes to Jordan Poole early, the freshman from Milwaukee.
Got to get it inside either with the bounce or the post up. Talk about getting back and covering that little extra, the pump fake gets it around the corner, get in the lane, and how about that stroke? We saw him yesterday. He was drilling him, number 22.
Last time these teams met in this building, as Davis gets
charged.
That's an offensive foul. Wipe out the made bucket, and Wagner takes the charge.
He's not only a composer, but he can play some defense. A nice alert step in, getting outside the lane and offering it up. Boy, that negates that opportunity at the rim. Again, don't let Indiana get in there. It'll decimate your D.
Wagner looks different this year, doesn't he? He's a junior, so he's playing with a whole lot more confidence.
Pleasant young guy, too, isn't he? Charming. You could learn a little.
I was just waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
But he is a pleasant kid. So girly.
2 early turnovers for Indiana, an 0-for-3 shooting start. And Bill, you mentioned how, the turnover problem is pronounced for the Hoosiers early. Their first 4, they averaged 16 turnovers a game. Last 3, they've cut that in half, 8 turnovers a game. That helps with everything, defense, offense.
Absolutely. The last couple of years, they've struggled with their turnovers. Of course, Tom Crean, we both know, did a great job down there. Didn't end the way he would have liked, but a couple of Big Ten championships proves his mettle as a coach. But, Archie taking over now. Really stressing ball control, don't make mistakes. And it's been a process, too. We saw him early against Seton Hall. Seton Hall with that great front line did a terrific job. We both saw the Indiana State game. He has resurrected his team from those days to now. They are more solid, more competitive, and better defensively.
So you see the Hoosiers' marked improvement from beginning of the season to now, forget about last year to now.
Well, you get to know one another. In some cases it works, Archie, that's for sure, but it's just an impact you have, a trust, Archie was saying yesterday, as to who to play and who can make the plays.
Maybe we could talk to Archie after the game about building trust and partnership.
He'll probably charge us.
So the first points for IU from Robert Johnson.
Well, they really make you work. Help side defense. Big John now can pop and shoot it. Pretty good around the rim and a terrific defender right there. That's the guy. Rockman's got to help that.
So after the cold shooting start, it's now 3 threes for Michigan. Last time in this building against the Hoosiers, they hit 11 threes and won by 30. Hardman.
Good shot.
Bumped, play on by Robinson. So Brooks with a 5 for Poole. Another triple for the Wolverines. Timeout, Indiana.
How easy is that when Brooks plays under control? Knows when he gets in that lane, he's drawn the D, sucked it in. A little kick and just shot preparation. Poole delivered. Big time.
Try Degree Ultra Clear Black plus White.
Drawn to you, you can reverse the basketball, either a drive, draw, kick, or around the perimeter. And that guy Rockman, he plays well. He's a different team.
And it always starts with John Beilein. Every practice is, and it's down to the fundamentals of where your feet, where you're pushing off from your heels, all of it about shooting.
It's probably like you with your ballroom dancing prior to your wedding.
I'm trying to keep that under wraps. I hope that never leaks.
But he orchestrates more than teaches, don't you think? When he's really got guys doing things, you're absolutely right. How to cut, how to read screens, how to position your feet. There's a little rub of Hartman, who played well against Duke.
Monte Green into the game now for Indiana. Try and give the Hoosiers a spark. Still haven't made a field goal. That's boarded by Teskey.
Nice pass, too, by Hartman. Does a lot of little things for this team. Unfortunately, his career has been marred with injuries. Teskey can make that shot. He's a pick and roll guy to the rim. Should have been there. Hesitated. Should have been right at the rim.
On the roll, Hoosiers take it away. So Green kick out. Hartman trying to take it to Robinson. Johnson lost it, got it back. Avoiding another turnover.
Nice hands.
Tipped away by Teskey. Third IU turnover. They don't have a field goal yet.
Little Teskey. Like a lot of players under this system, they get better. Teskey, one of those guys. McSwain on him. Teskey should be able to get some offensive rebounds. McSwain's a great athlete.
9 to shoot. Into the hands of Robinson. Shot fakes Hartman. Couldn't finish. Monte Green brings it back. 0 for 5 shooting start for Indiana.
Just got to finish plays right now. You need some opportunities off the dribble. Durham, one of those kids who can beat you with the bounce as well.
9 to shoot. Johnson hesitates, finds McSwain. 0 for 6 shooting start for Indiana.
Well, they are really struggling on the offensive end. No rhythm. Got him.
Teskey.
He's a confident kid, though. And a good look. A post presence.
So over 6 minutes in, still no field goals for Indiana, and then a foul on Johnson after he turns it over.
What a read of the passing lane. Beautiful.
Looking for gifts for the sports fans on your list? Skip the lines and save on team gear from the CBS Sports Shop. Go to cbssports.com/gift to see today's special offer.
Yeah, Big Mo and Matthews back on the floor. John taking them out with when they had incurred the one foul. But that angle pass leads to a fast break. Not much more Johnson can do but give it up.
Bill, this is ugly for Indiana. 0 for 6 shooting, 4 turnovers. And one of the big questions was, how do you bounce back after an incredible effort but a loss to Duke? And then you're on the road in early December for a conference game, and obviously the start has not been what the Hoosiers wanted.
You're asking me because I've been behind most of my life. Oh, what a help side D. Davis. Nice
Morgan
pop.
got the block, and then Wagner steps in for 2.
A little lingerie on the deck. That's what makes him effective, because now we can use the bounce. Such a tough weapon. You like to go inside or at least drive to create something, get to the free throw line if you're Indiana when you're struggling like this. Steps in a hurry.
Turnover number 5.
Who spoke about turnovers early? Was that you?
Exactly right.
They've been sound and solid with it, but just get them up in the air. Move that eyebrow. Sprechen Sie durch.
Each of Indiana's last 3 games, they've had single-digit turnovers. No one can find an example of Indiana ever having 3 straight games of single-digit turnovers. They have 5, 7 minutes in.
Nice cut. How about this?
Livers off the look from Wagner.
Wagner has a wonderful feel, but that's because of the spread. You sneak a peek on the box, you pay.
10 straight for Michigan. A 16-2 start.
A good gap defense there. Nice step through. Wow.
Still can't finish, and now finally Morgan on the pushback. So at the 12:30 mark, the first made bucket for Indiana.
And smart by Archie. Go inside. Wagner doesn't want to get that second foul. He's going to be back off just a little bit.
Abdur Rahman.
Pick.
Knuckle for Simpson. Matthews for his first bucket.
May have had a little discard, though, but in the right spot.
All those pounds of muscle he put on the red shirt here have helped him out.
Absolutely. He's really a good find for them. Little nickel dimer outside.
Yep, Johnson gets bumped. Tom Eads calls it. And as we head to the under 12 timeout of the first half, Indiana finally has a field goal made bucket. But an 18-4 start for Michigan on the Hoosiers.
For adults with advanced non-small cell lung cancer.
They doubled. Nobody else knew the double was coming, so there's not the weak side coverage that was necessary. You know, the rotation. He may have done that on his own, which really bears your backside there.
Well, you can tell he started this game, the first 8 minutes, several different ways, but there has been 1 Indiana field goal and 6 Michigan Wolverines have made a shot in the early goal.
Early leads, though. I mean, you love to have them, no question about it, but if you just be patient, crawl back in this thing. And the big thing, I think, go inside. They're not going to foul you in there. You mentioned to me off air, Matthews gets 2, and then that changes things a little bit. If you got Big Mo, another, that really changes the look. Nice duck in off the timeout. I love this. Got to finish.
Straight
nice
into
rebound.
Davis. Yep, stick back.
There you go.
Finally spins in for Juwan Morgan, the junior who's been a beast on the offensive glass.
Great power move on at the timeout.
So Matthews in Michigan's leading scorer. Just before that timeout, 2 personals.
Nice. Look how he drifts out there for the look. How to make that one. He knows that. Just a great read. Where the D tells you to go.
Newkirk
Nice
nearly
hands.
lost it. Back in the hands of Green.
Good recovery.
Morgan backing in on Livers and 1. So into Juwan Morgan after he got this stick back on the last trip Morgan a chance with the three-point play.
What do you think was said in the timeout there by Archie Miller? Let's go to our studs inside, the big fellas. Just an amazing change the last 2 trips. Now you're back in touch.
Morgan and Indiana wasn't sure whether they would have him at this point because he rolled the ankle early, didn't have to miss any time. Can't connect from the free throw line. So
is that Duke game? Challenge your jump shot, turn the ankle a little bit?
It was November.
But I think he did in that game tweak it too.
Initially hurt it against Howard on November 12th. He's coming back from the foot injury that hobbled him last year.
Always looking, look at his speed with the footwork.
And finishing with a left.
It's a great stretch move under the rim, using it to ward off. Where are you going?
Livers turns it over. Johnson gives it up, and Livers finger rolls it in. Another costly turnover for the Hoosiers.
Got to value the ball.
Largest lead.
Green can get to the rim, but didn't finish. Had Newkirk in the corner as well. That's the trail guy. They got to make sure you get up on him. Always peeking. Excuse me.
Wagner lost it, tipped away, and Wagner touched it last. So Indiana gets it back.
We talked about footwork. He said the pros said to work on your dribble, particularly your rebounding. Look at this spin out, and then that stretch, just magnificent. And just inadvertent turnovers like that, they are punishing. And you need your leader, in that case, Robert Johnson, to play solid basketball. Nice entry.
Davis finishes.
And there's the lapse defensively. Didn't open enough to close on the other side by Wagner.
Deron Davis went toe-to-toe with Marvin Bagley on Wednesday. 12 points in the second half against the terrific Duke freshman in the front court.
What a great effort that game was. Nice cut and pass. The big guy. He's a quarterback. Harbaugh needs one. Isn't that what they tell me?
I think the Michigan fans are saying amen to that one, Bill.
No offense to the present one.
Well, Wagner with another nice look. And has a board on the other end to get the Wolverines on the run again. Simpson, Abdur-Rahman into the corner, pull air ball.
Not good judgment on that one, though. Wagner hitting you over half court. This is a guy that's got to light it up for them, too. He can make some threes. I don't know if he needs it that early.
Thursday on CBS, SWAT is put to the ultimate test when one of their own is taken hostage. Shamar Moore stars in the new action thriller SWAT. Thursday, 10/9 Central, only CBS.
There hasn't been a whole lot of swatting going on here, but some pretty good inside play. And Livers with that knee-jerk reaction gets a seat.
So Michigan, who didn't play well against North Carolina, hot start. Indiana did play well against Duke. Cold start, long way to go.
This is where you got to be patient.
Brooks takes it right at Hartman, and there's your SWAT, Bill.
That we finally got it. Little promo.
Durham leads, pulls up, and it spins out with a freshman from Georgia.
He is really a great-looking kid, I think. Deep shot, on the deck, speed. A little nickel dimer over there.
On the deck, Poole gets a foul on Durham. Now to be Durham, so a deep rotation right now, really for both of these teams, as Archie Miller and John Beilein try to figure it out. Yet another wrinkle of this early December. That's in large part because the Big Ten tournament is a week earlier.
A lot of adjustments for them, really.
You still have teaching going on in practice and installing and putting in plays, and now you got to get ready for a big conference game.
And finding who can play. Roberts on the floor now really gives Indiana a lot of hustle, scrappy around the glass.
Brooks late in the clock.
Wow, where'd you go defensively, though?
The mature freshman point guard from Spring Grove, PA, led his high school to the first county championship since 1971. Playing for his dad, James.
Get it in there. See if they give a little help. Nice wall up. Now, good footwork, though. When you stick that belly in there, all of a sudden the guy knows where you are. Drop step, pretty maneuver. They know where to go, I think, Indiana's just getting it there. That's inside.
Turnover off the hands of Watson. So McRoberts finds Newkirk trailing, try to get it back to Morgan, put it on the deck again. Now finally finds Morgan for the dunk.
Pretty lucky with that particular play. Newkirk's got to be a sound basketball player for this team. Very fortunate to get that deuce.
Morgan has 10 of Indiana's 14.
It's a little time right now. I'll get him back inside at some point.
On the roll, Robinson instead goes to the corner. And the triple goes down for Jordan Poole.
Well, you know when they score and shoot the basketball this well, they own you. Sets up drives now, sets up post play. Having their way. You got to get up on the shooters.
5 made threes for Michigan. 3 of them from Jordan Poole, the freshman from Milwaukee.
Well, he really worked with that again, huh, Morgan?
Now Morgan is having to do it all right now for Indiana. 12 of the Hoosiers' 16.
Now he knows, but Wagner's not going to foul him. Take advantage.
With Matthews on the bench, Michigan has maintained a double-digit lead.
I don't know. Interesting, though, on some of those shots, you look over at John, someone gets upset on an open look. Good kick.
Newkirk to Devontae Green.
That's
Fight
when
for the
McRoberts
rebound.
is tough.
Won by McRoberts. It's still,
He let it.
yep, still Indiana's ball. No tie-up called, so play on. And the Hoosiers do.
Shot clock, I think they're going to change
Yep.
a little bit, yeah.
The shot clock resets. And while they sort that out, we step aside. The Maize in blue with a big early lead on the cream and crimson.
Boys, I'm not sure.
Well, Morgan, obviously for them, is satisfactory. But I just think Poole, the open looks, I mean, it's very difficult to contest because they do a lot of slippage in the middle. And how about this loosey-goosey move? That looked like you at Grazie last night. When you saw the price of dinner, you were overjoyed. But this kid has the faithful overjoyed dipping his toe in the Big Ten pool, you might say. A little hesitation, find and draw. That's what makes them special, I think. An impact team when you let them turn the corner.
Played his prep year, Lalamere, Indiana. Played with Michigan State's Jaron Jackson Jr., who was making his presence felt early.
Pretty good player.
Yes, indeed.
There's, not that I'm old, but saw the dad play at Georgetown.
Right.
Tape. I mean, I was too.
Right, sure. No, you mean
Not a-
film.
Film, that's right. 8 millimeter. Go inside. Had a good job, good success.
Davis has to come out after Teskey's been playing well.
Yeah, defensively he's pretty good, particularly on the dribble.
Green late to recognize. Shot clock. Davis takes the dribble. Didn't get it off. Robert Johnson was the one pointing to Devontae Green saying, we got to go.
Right. They're just not good. In a situation like that, Archie knows it.
We told you about the Michigan guys who are no longer there. OG Anunoby, Thomas Bryant, James Blackman. I mean, there's a lot of new faces, not just Archie Miller, around Indiana basketball as well.
Those are great names. They got a little small change, I think.
Yep, on Hartman.
Tough kid.
But to go through what he's going, I mean, wrist, ankle, groin early this year.
The only good thing that's happened is he got engaged.
Right, exactly. Well done. Haley Daniel, fiance.
Very popular guy on campus. Just keeps trying, too.
It was the knee last year, forced him to take a medical red shirt. Brooks, 9 to shoot. Davis, hard head. Teskey finishes it all.
How do you get around that big wide body? Just seals his guy. Terrific find.
Devontae Green, the sophomore from North Babylon, New York. Brother Danny's a San Antonio Spur. In Indiana set up.
Danny, UNC, a lifer in that league, isn't he?
Perfect. Memphis last night. 4 to shoot. Johnson, he's going to take it himself late in the clock and knock it down.
Smart. You were saying earlier, too, he was the one that recognized the clock. His teammates didn't.
Senior from Richmond leading scorer. And now Indiana after the ice cold start. 4 for its last 5 from the floor.
This is where they got to toughen up a little bit. Understand the reads. See the ball. Little side scissor red Artback.
Abdul Rahman step back on Johnson. Hardman pulls it.
Great balance. Michigan really worked hard, not giving up the easy ones. Oh, little reach in. Yep.
Robinson over aggressive on the top. Well, this is advanced from Brooks to Teske.
How about the big guy? We said he's really improved. Understands where to go. The good hands to finish. Teske, impeccable.
Playoff is coming. From here on out, every game
Zone as well.
Now you go back with the Hurleys and the Millers, so you understand how that rivalry, which is now Arizona State, goes all the way back to Jersey and Pennsylvania.
How about that? Yeah. Both fathers accomplished coach. This is, again, an inside basket. All the field goals have been in the 3-second lane. And they found a way.
Archie Miller's dad, John, 4 state titles. Blackhawk High School, Beaver Falls, PA.
Don't leave him.
Wide open. Robinson misses the look. So Robert Johnson brings it back.
Just that little screen down and slip outside. Robinson's got a tough job here. Just bounce yourself in. Got the little hook game too.
Now Morgan has led the Indiana resurgence after the 18-4 start by Michigan.
Tough shot.
Robinson back-to-back misses.
Yeah, tough shot though. On the move, that's what you want him to do if you're the defender.
Indiana went 7.5 minutes without a field goal to start the game. And now Johnson trying to lead him back. He misses the step in. Abdul Rahman, Brooks bobbles.
A good pass would have given an open look.
Reset it, Abdul Rahman.
They really don't need a point guard the way they play in the half court. Wouldn't you agree? That would have been tough. Robinson looked tired on that one.
Yeah, he's 0 for his last 3.
They reverse the ball. Seldom use the dribble unless it's to an advantage. Go inside. That's sort of the name of the game. Pretty good defense by Teske.
Teske has held Deron Davis in check. Green attacks. Teske draws the foul. So Green off the bounce. The road to the Final Four on CBS Sports Network continues tonight, 10 Eastern. The aforementioned Arizona Wildcats taking on the UNLV Runnin' Rebels. So, Bill, you just said, despite those losses, it bumped Arizona out from number 2. Keep an eye on the Wildcats as they bear down.
And UNLV's had a good start, too. But you mentioning Sean Miller reminds me Jerome Lane. Sean always says,
"Oh yeah,
I made you because I made the pass."
Right. He sent it in Jerome.
Right.
As Sean was recruited to Pitt by a young assistant coach, who's now a head coach in the SEC.
What's he doing now?
Cal. The Western PA ties. Pittsburgh area, Cal, Moon Township, PA officially, but that's been close ties in the Western PA bunch with the Millers, John Calipari, and Bruiser Flint, now assistant at Indiana.
Yeah, Bruiser, there's Ed Schilling there too, have been with Cal with the New Jersey Nets. And a little reach in, not a good foul that far from the basket. Got to move the legs and own a hug, as Morgan did.
And that is Morgan's second. So Michigan has held up this lead with Matthews getting his second at the 11:55 mark. So Matthews only 2 points, 2 minutes, and yet the Wolverines have hung on to a double-digit lead without their leading scorer.
No question about it. Indiana's got to find a way to keep pounding it in coming out that second half. I mean, 10 points after the early problems. I mean, they've solidified, haven't turned it over as frequently. They were at 7 up to the last timeout. Trying to buy some minutes with Wagner now. See if we can get him on the glass. I would go inside against him. Explain inside. I know he can elevate over him.
And now it gets late in the clock. So Wagner on the perimeter, screening, rolling, shot fake, pull.
No bite. Nice play. Good piece of officiating, too.
Yeah.
He tried to initiate the contact.
And play on.
You want a good one that's tippable. I wouldn't take a jumper unless it was late in the shot clock. Get something in there.
McSwain attacking. Oh. Bothered inside by Wagner.
Nice
Stripped. Brooks took it away.
Numbers.
Brooks kick. Abdul-Rahman.
That's a kill.
Triple.
That's a killer. The old days you went for a layup. Not anymore. Get it into the 3-second lane. Draw that D and fine.
6 made threes for Michigan. On par to hit the number that they had last time Indiana was here. 11 made threes in the blowout win.
A lot of tough covers. And they stretch you so much you can't overhelp.
Late clock.
2.
Johnson lost it, out of bounds. There's only 1 second on the shot clock anyway. Michigan will have the last crack of the half.
See if he calls the time. He's going to just... We saw them working on these end of half and end of game plays. Post, what do you say, down and out.
Right,
Yeah.
with all the football. Root terminology.
Uh-huh.
Run into the post, flagger out, curl.
No flags either in this game, you know?
No, we haven't seen targeting yet.
There's the that's the play they ran at half court.
Drag route. Abdul-Rahman finds Robinson.
Oh, that would have been a killer. What a great look. Preparation, the name of the game. Give your kids a chance. John did.
An 18-4 start for Michigan, and they're up by double digits at the break. 34-21 on Indiana. That is the end of the first half. We'll send you to Adam Zucker in Atlanta with AT&T at the half after this message and a word from your local station.
I'm here to talk to you about how AT&T gives you more. And so am I.
You were the one telling me that Rudy Tomjanovich, when this building opened 50 years ago today, he was a Wolverine and
a sophomore, and they lost to Kentucky. And Adolph Rupp was in the house. Pretty impressive. And this is the house that Cassie built. He never played it. Well, you know that.
Sure.
So.
And in this basketball game, Michigan is beating Indiana. So as we take a look at our Capital One first half stats, I mean, they all look pretty good for Michigan. You said that last three had it gone down before the half, it would have been
devastating. And they got a bunch of them, as noted. They're such a good basketball team once they get into that lane and find some people. But I mean, Indiana's done some damage too. And we'll check them both out here. But this is that ability to drive. Look at the defense, Kyle. You got 5 red shirts in the lane. It's a walk-in, step-in, in rhythm for Robinson. And this is the power game. Just solid basketball when they went inside. The last 6:59, Morgan has not scored, but he had 12 points up to that. But that's that little step and go. Read the defense. They play on top, back cut to the rim. Real simple. Try and guard it.
3 turnovers for Johnson, and the turnovers which Indiana had whittled down in their last 3 games. Turnover issues early, helping to an 18-4 start. And despite the fact that Matthews sat for much of that first half with foul trouble, it is still Michigan up by 13, trying to win their 4th straight over Indiana.
Nice cross screen. Davis on the box.
Morgan inside, draws a foul, and he'll have a chance to end that scoreless streak from the line. I'm sure Archie Miller saw the same thing we did, that Morgan, after the hot start, had slowed.
Archie needed 10 seconds at halftime, that's all. And just bring them together and say, get the ball inside, fellas. Are you ready? Let's go take layups.
So what do you do with the rest of the time?
You know, you can just see the disadvantage. Obviously, physically isn't as imposing. And Juwan Morgan, a load inside, and his progress has been very impressive.
Now, one of the mantras for Archie Miller in trying to set up his tenure at Indiana has just been, don't let anything from the past beat you in the future. And that was case in point with Indiana State. You start the year with a bad loss against Indiana State, and Archie wouldn't let them dwell on it. It was move on, forget that, it's in the past.
How about that? I've seen him go behind the back. That was between the legs. Fortunately, he doesn't have the long drawers on. How about that?
The junior from Berlin
Well, getting back to Archie, that's the Satchel Paige. Don't look back, they're gaining on you, right?
The first Satchel Paige reference in the college basketball season.
Make that nice clean look.
Davis. I'm not going to say he was a contemporary of yours, but
I saw Satchel play.
yeah?
Sure, I was a kid. But how about this? Between the leg, how do you do? A little fancy dude. Dirk couldn't do that, do you think? That is really impressive. But again, the inability of the defense to really jam it up because the shooters are spread and can nail them.
Mo got to meet Dirk at a Pistons game. Was absolutely starstruck. When you're a big man German basketball player, you get to meet your hero, Dirk Nowitzki.
Tom Lyra, the SID here, was saying they spoke German. He had no idea what they were saying. I think Dirk was saying nice little good step and cut. He's saying, you know, your SID does a lousy job.
Matthews just his second bucket. Michigan's leading scorer slipping. Make it a 16-point game again. And a bump in the corner. Is it Robinson? It is. Brooks and Robinson out of trap.
Now watch this read. I mean, that's just beautiful. The defense told them which way to go. Johnson overplayed high side. If you play low side, they curl it. Real simple. Years of tweaking by this guy. Every place he went, he added something new.
Is that? I mean, we had this conversation yesterday about how it's hard to identify what the John Beilein offense is because it's taken from 40 years of head coaching.
High school, you mentioned Erie County. A lot of stops, Richmond, Canisius, not necessarily in that order, but you got to finish that one. Davis right at the rim. Power up there, big guy.
Robinson on the bench with 3 fouls. Livers, Wagner, reach-in foul on Deron Davis, showing some signs of frustration.
Yeah, that's 1 year away from the basketball. Don't reach in. He's got to make the move. Just seal the deal on the baseline. Get some help topside.
And he's going to get a break now as Hartman comes back in. So Davis, the big man, off a solid effort on Wednesday against Duke. Well, he got in foul trouble in the first half of that game. It's his second now.
Johnson gets a little giveaway too. Is that 2?
It is second on Johnson. And already 3 team fouls in the second half. Not 2 minutes in for Indiana, hampering the comeback efforts.
Oh, not ready on the inbounds. Terrific look. Goodness. Got to face the ball to the corner.
Durham attacks back into the hands of Newkirk. So Durham and Newkirk.
Nice pass.
We'll start the second half. Hartman finishes around Wagner.
Two-man play. Green with an excellent choice of deliveries. Look at this little curl. Matthews could have gone right to the rim.
Instead, the kick to Livers. That's back-to-back open looks missed by Michigan.
I think Matthews should have taken it, get himself on track a little bit.
So after 6 made threes in the first half, 0 for 2 start for Michigan.
Nobody, look at this triple. They recover.
Hartman, contested 3. Spins out, boarded by Matthews. Wagner and Morgan get tangled up.
And Matthews had a weak side drive if he wanted it.
Now the 2-man game with Wagner, setting him up for the 3. 0 for 3 from 3 to begin the second half for Michigan.
Brooks does a nice job reading passing lanes, was sneaking in there. Hartman trying to post up, not a bad idea either.
Newkirk off the bounce to the rim.
A little cup, Stephon Marbury.
Newkirk, the 5th-year senior from Raleigh via Pitt.
Right, hanging in there though, around 12. Think stop now. Bunched up a little. Not a good play here, yeah.
He throws it away. Nope, not touched by Indiana. It's a turnover by Livers. Back to IU.
And not a typical pass, but here's just a terrific understanding of how to slip and finish. A little kiss in Ann Arbor. By the way, did you get out of that garage last night? You were there for about a half hour.
Eventually, yeah, it's a popular Friday evening in downtown Ann Arbor.
If Green keeps playing that way, getting the lane, he'll be popular in Bloomington.
But at least we had a good soundtrack.
We did. definitely. Little Motown. Overload slice, got to be careful.
Wagner gets on the deck, lost it, back-to-back turnovers by Michigan. So a sloppy start to the second half for the Michigan Wolverines. It's still a double-digit lead, but a little glimmer of hope for IU. 6 straight now for the Hoosiers.
You mentioned Newkirk doing a job, but how about the guards taking over? Get in the lane, do some damage, get yourself back in this.
Hey, man.
Oh, you got Big Haas in there, Edwards, both Edwards. That's a solid basketball. It's all about growing and getting better, and these two teams are an example of that. I think the conference is going to get better as the year progresses.
Including these two teams?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we've seen Indiana grow in that last game. This game, they struggled, but they're still hanging around.
Purdue 1-0 in the Big Ten with a win in Maryland. They get it started with the early start to Big Ten play. There's Newkirk, single digits.
He can bite you. They got an attitude right now, I think, Indiana. They didn't have 3 weeks ago. A good one. Now you start on your shot thinking a little bit if you're Michigan. Each one, got to get Matthews on track somehow. Slip him in the post, maybe.
Robinson bumped. It's on the floor, says Tommy. This is the first made three of the game for Indiana.
How about that? Of course, again, the ball movement, a little page out of the Michigan book. When you're stepping in rhythm like that, even though the league challenge and a good challenge going by without fouling, Newkirk delivered.
Off the inbound, Matthews, and a foul called.
Hartman late, that was one of those where he closed pretty good.
That's on Hartman. That's number 3. That's team foul number 5 against Indiana.
That's a pretty good wall-up. Maybe a belly button foul. Maybe in your neighborhood. A brush.
I'm trying to visualize
Well, you
that.
just
Should I stop
scrape
trying
him.
to visualize
You just
it?
scrape him with that belt.
Matthews, it's been 3.5 without scoring as part of this 9-0 run.
I didn't see them point to the restraining line, but that's probably what caused the problem. Or at least the call.
5 in the game for Matthews after he sat most of the first half. Leading scorer, averaging 16 a game for the Wolverines. First made free throw of the game for Michigan.
Davis does a nice job walking his guy up, but the ball reversal didn't get it into him. Or Morgan, excuse me. There you go, he did it.
Morgan and one with a foul on Teskey. Into Jawan Morgan again to make it a 6-point game.
And just great patience on the ball reversal. And the synchronization of the big guy gets that little angle and delivered to the correct hand, which was the right hand. And then the lefty finish. That's excellent basketball.
So from 16 down, Bill, we have a 5-point game.
Early success sometimes breeds problems. Smith coming in now. I like this kid. This is a very promising player.
Got a substitution miscommunication here for Indiana. Michigan was ready to inbound, and now they got to sort it out at the scorers table. Johnson from Newkirk, and we'll do another inbound. And Archie Miller seeking some explanation.
If he's happy with it,
but he got the substitution.
Yeah. Maybe the ref helped him. Maybe he ran in without going to the scorers table.
I think that's
he just
right.
didn't want a cheapie.
Brooks
Pick and pop.
finds Robinson.
There you go. That's their pet go-to. If you don't hug him, Robinson's got that ability.
First made 3 of the second half for Michigan. Had 6 in the first. Johnson finds a slipping Smith. Couldn't finish. Abdul Rahman brings it back.
Oh, great play, too. Too low. Got to get out of his way. Oh, he's got him now. That's just too easy for the big fella. Teskey.
Quick one on the other end from Green.
Good call, too. Back in the game. Almost got a layup on the last trip and jack one. That's not your style. Sometimes kids get their juices flowing, though. They feel they can nail it. Got the freedom to do it. Matthews really good without the ball. Brooks doing over zealous with the bounce in.
He nearly split it out of bounds on Durham.
And this will just get your puppies organized. How about this? Terrific nylon from deep, and then you load up a big guy. This is easy. You own him. Nice drop step. That derriere cushions it. Soft delivery.
So how about the response from Michigan after Indiana cuts it to 5? Wolverines come back with 5 of their own.
It's all about growing.
Now late in the clock, Abdul Rahman, Wagner, Brooks. Triple at the end. Off the look from Wagner. He finds the freshman Eli Brooks. 8 straight from Michigan after Indiana cut it to 5.
A little double here. Got to recover. That's what I love about Wagner. It's all about winning. That extra look.
Morgan outside.
Now that's 2 jacks that they paid for. We'll see.
Robinson stepping in. Morgan clears it.
He's doing everything here, huh? Archie calling the timeout before he jacked up a 3, maybe.
After some back-to-back jacks, timeout Indiana.
Sometimes you're in it. A couple of mistakes against a good team. And John Beeline's guys respond beautifully.
What are you asking Santa for?
I want a rabbit.
Hey, Thomas.
That's not how you get a rabbit.
Ann Arbor, 47-34 on the Hoosiers. Our AT&T Fast Analysis Bill.
Well, these guys can dance as well. Just a terrific screen and pop. All of a sudden, that nylon delivery, silky, smooth, and then the extra pass. Why not? Hit the high note by Wagner. The extra pass down the corner and nail it. Brooks lives to tell the tale, but it's all unselfish play by the big fella.
You don't want to read too much into one possession, but that's one of your leaders in your upperclassman, a junior, passing on to the freshman to hit a 3 to make it 8-0 and take you back to command of the game.
I think what John feels is if he develops his backcourt, they can have some, cause some damage, make some music.
Now, Eli Brooks mentioned his dad coached him in high school. He coached him back to first grade, and of course, has always got to give a shout out to Mom, Kelly. Basketball family, one big in Central PA. Came to play for John Beeline.
A little cross screen, well guarded. Nice step in defensively.
Eli told us biggest lesson he's learned from his dad was handling adversity. You had the follow-up. What adversity have you faced? It's all been good.
Yeah, my goodness, he's got a full scholarship to Michigan, and they get the reach in by Wagner.
Fans thought it was clean. Wagner may have gotten him with the body.
Number 2.
It is number 2 on Wagner.
Well,
4th personal foul on the Wolverines.
Well, he's avoided that contact pretty good because they've been going after him inside. He's looking up at the screen. Now, these kids know all the magic.
Monday on an all-new late show. Catch Stevens' can't-miss interview with Billy Bush. Plus later this week, Ed Helms and from Bold, Christopher Jackson, only CBS.
Rotating the bigs here. McSwain strong. What a dunk he had against Duke. Brought the house down. Boy, the noise and assembly was just magnificent.
McSwain, 12 minutes a game. He's second on the team in rebounding. I mean, he's a tough big guy, junior college transfer.
They say he is as strong as can be, too, with those NFL weightlifting drills. And, well, until you leave, you can't leave him alone.
Now, Robinson doesn't make him pay that time.
That's what you got to get. Anything loose, Indiana's got to get it.
No, went around. Robinson going around on Hardman.
He had that little the cornerback, the number 4, with a hand on the back, cost him.
Pass interference is your call on that one, Bill?
Exactly. Defensive.
So Robinson will sit at the 12-12 mark.
Well, they worked hard last night on these out of bounds. A little double at the end of it on the inbounder.
Into McSwain, 8 to shoot, backing in on Wagner, rejected. Loose ball, won by Michigan.
Watch the spread.
Into the corner, Poole.
That's what makes it tough. You got to, not a good kick out.
Now Livers got the board, turned it over to McRoberts. And now Newkirk. Michigan another chance in transition.
Man, that's not their game as well as it's Michigan's, you know? I think you just be patient, pound it in. That will come in a flow.
You see too many quick shots
Yeah,
of the
I think
Hoosiers.
so. Nice drive here. How about that?
And a finish. And heavy traffic for Jordan Poole.
He's had a nice game. Shot well early.
Indiana 0 for its last 5. Johnson left alone to end that streak.
See, Michigan can afford to match baskets. Indiana can't. They need stops.
Xavier Simpson with the Z now.
Real good defender.
Wagner skipped off of an Indiana defender. Poole. Quick three, Jordan Poole. He finishes tough inside and then takes it outside for the triple.
Wow, that's deep in the pool, I might add. A little small change. Rockman.
Jordan Poole, the freshman. 5 tough ones for Michigan.
They're going to skip to the do and a little smile as well. And why not? They just stretch you, bend you, a little deflection, why not? Get them organized. A little ball fake, jab step. Big time.
When it comes to holiday,
Give them 2 wins. I mean, we contribute to their success. But how about those pictures, though? May, Hubbard, Benson, Quinn Buckner. And to me, the most extraordinary, I think Bob Knight could take 5 guys out of the stands and beat your team. He was that good a teacher. You know,
Who gets to choose which 5 guys from the stands?
No, I mean, it's just a random statement, obviously, but
Like most of them.
he'll take yours and beat theirs, that kind of thing. He just was amazing what he could do. Such a history of his success at that university. And they would love to embrace him, too. Passing around.
Well, Indiana's going to make a push. 10-21 mark. They got it down to 5. Michigan had the response. And now Davis is out there. Morgan is out there. So both of the big men. Late clock. Newkirk attacks. Wagner tries to dump it off of him. 5 seconds, Indiana baseline inbound.
They've got them thrown off with this house count, don't they?
Rather than baseline's going to be in the corner.
Yeah.
You think the student section house count is?
That's really true. They've gone a little bit early on that particular play, and one earlier I remember. You know, Poole and Livers are so long out there. They really could become terrific defenders, I think.
Get it into Davis. 3 seconds, right to the rim. Deron Davis advanced.
Simple and powerful.
Sophomore from Park Hill, Colorado, Overland High School.
Nice little screen, set it up.
And then Wagner passes it on. Pinball it back to Simpson. Attacking and drawing a foul. So the Wolverines take it around the horn.
I'll tell you, they do really a nice job. That has not been run at all. Rockman usually goes down through and overloads. That time gives a back screen to Wagner. A pretty good negation at the rim. Stopped it.
3rd on Davis, but with his foul issues, you would take 9:49 to the second half before he gets his 3rd.
They need him on the floor. He and Morgan.
Simpson misses the first. Wednesday on CBS, David Boreanaz stars in a new drama about the most trusted team in the war on terror, SEAL Team. New episode Wednesday after Survivor, only CBS.
He's all out. Matthews having a big game when you look at Michigan.
With our producer Jason Ross, director Chris Benson, Carter Blackburn, Bill Raftery, stop number 1 on the road to the Final Four. Davis,
a nice
couple of big plays.
Sneak a peek over that shoulder. Tardy D. Got to recognize both the ball and your guy.
So here's Matthews, Michigan's leading scorer, held in check today. Poole lost it on the way up. He made some terrific plays, not so much there.
Yeah, just really sound basketball. And keep your eye on the cutter. Nobody gets down. You got to protect in here. And that was a random double, I think. Put everybody off guard.
Devontae Green.
They do a great job locking their pivot foot, though.
Morgan and Abdul Rahman get tangled up.
Nice hands again.
Davis has to go get it. 6 to shoot. 5. Newkirk pulls up. Tough 2. Avoided by Wagner.
Great, real solid defensive trip.
Abdul Rahman takes it at Green. Wagner,
And he ran the floor. I mean, he rebounded, sprinted. Wasn't in the play till the end.
Green lost it, got it back. Tipped away by Wagner.
Heck of a defensive play.
Abdul Rahman to the rim. Bull couldn't handle it.
That was a roof raiser. Pretty good collective defense there. Once again, Wagner with the lane, poking it away. Now the ability to run the floor is part of this game, and the big guys, occasionally this is a little late entry from him, but just a terrific job on the far end, set this whole sequence up. Big pause as he sticks him in there.
8 points, 7 rebounds for Wagner, and some terrific defense. Into Davis again, drawing 3 defenders. Davis.
Somebody's got to be free. There you go.
Take it back. Durham. Good reversal by the Hoosiers to get Durham a look.
Got to do a better job recognizing.
Just the second made 3 of the game for Indiana.
Checking Wagner out. He's checking with Beeline as to what he wants to do. That now they obviously you can't cover the slip man in the corners.
Back in the hands of Matthews. Wagner, mid-range now.
I mean, it's just so tough to defend. The alert, read, understand, distance, what will work.
What Wagner said about his decision to turn down the NBA and come back, he said, I knew this will never come back. This feeling of being in college, playing in front of the students, he's having a blast.
He sure is. He brought a nice drive and miss at the end. But Wagner has been the reason they've spread this once more. All the things he does on the defensive end, running the floor, screening, pick and pop.
So from Berlin to Ann Arbor, and he's not ready to leave the Wolverines behind. An 11-point lead for Mo and the Wolverines. A win. We've already surpassed that scoring total, 56-45. Moritz Wagner has led the way for the Wolverines.
Well, I'm going to name John Beeline the Commissioner of Transportation in New York. He eliminates traffic. Nobody around here is the big fella able to put that ball between the legs, be in the right spot on a follow. His defense has been sensational, that mid-range game, and we know when he gets it going, he can make the 3. A little rest right now for the weary. Solid defensive slap-aways as well.
And sloppy possession for Michigan coming out of the timeout.
Yeah, it was. Matthews thinking he had somebody home, but again, defensively, clubs do a great job of that delivery along the baseline, closing down. Nice hesitation.
And can't finish. Yeah, Green, yeah. Well, he lost his shoe.
I think that happened to him.
Yeah,
early in
exactly.
year
It was
at
the second time.
He got a rebound, a timeout, and a shoe.
You know what that is? That's not getting the puppies organized. And Michigan has a response.
Well, they are making some shots, though. And that's number 10, I think. Is it the threes?
That's right. Floater won't go, pulled down by Abdul Rahman.
Forced to catch a little further out, maybe the tougher dribble.
So I mentioned before, last time these teams met in this building, 11 made threes. Michigan won by 30. There's a foul on Jawan Morgan. And speaking of unorganized puppies, this was it. November 15th, Devontae Green loses the shoe and then stays in the play.
How about that? Little slap away steal. I mentioned rebound. It was a steal. They've got to get flag flyers. I know you're a little younger. Flag flyers were, the tongue would come up and then snap back. You're going to invent that.
That one
What
is
are your favorite shoe company?
That one I'm not on top of. Wasn't that John Wooden's always day one? You learn how to put your socks and your shoes on.
Exactly. That's why I didn't do well as a coach. I missed that clinic. My pillar of success didn't include the lingerie or the socks.
Yeah, I don't think the pyramid went the right way.
A little stacked look, first time.
I was wondering how much you got in your buyout with all these coaches didn't.
I got a box lunch. I was happy to get it. I got a standing ovation and a box lunch. Nice little play there, a little duck in. Got to bring it over and get a better angle. And dump it down on Morgan.
And that'll send Morgan back to the line. He's been the bright spot for Indiana today, the way Deron Davis was on Wednesday. This is the front end.
And the pool seems to be everywhere. Whether it's making threes, big upside.
After Rockmont has struggled on both ends of the court, Poole's playing time is up again. Early in the year, it's December.
See, I'm a big Rockman fan, though. I think he does a lot for this team. When it fell asleep.
And Matthews couldn't handle it. Loose pull on the deck. Indiana wins it. Morgan gets to the floor. 5 minutes to go. Michigan closing in on its 4th straight win over Indiana.
Now, Michigan's done a good job making him do things late in the shot clock, too. Nice cross.
Durham.
Tough with the right, too. That kid got some talent. Little blow by.
Durham making just his 3rd start today. Freshman from Lilburn, Georgia. Simpson kicks to Matthews.
Nice play. Teskey almost come up with it.
Indiana in a hurry. Hartman. Abdul Rahman pulls it.
I think they use a little bit of clock to run their stuff.
And John Beeline said slow down.
Teskey gives him a nice blow with Wagner. He's going to come in again, I think, for him, but solid minutes.
Run it down to 7 to shoot. Approaching the under 4 timeout.
Nice
Matthews,
roll.
Teskey, and a foul on Durham.
John won't like that. He's got to finish it right at the rim, but a nice little job with that big body. A roadblock, a slip, a little empty.
We want to
Go with Gary. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, I would go with Gary too. He's a pretty good guy to ride with.
I have a friend that knew him when he was in Detroit and said he could have been like a president or a GM in the NFL.
Wow.
And been a great one.
Tomorrow, in its 50 years, 60 minutes, has brought you some incredible moments. See the best of America's most watched news broadcast tomorrow only. CBS.
Teskey makes the free throws. This team's growing. It's interesting to watch. They've got a lot more pieces. As check out you mentioned Robinson really didn't shoot well this second half. Matthews has had a C game for him.
Newkirk takes it to Wagner, but I mean, Matthews sat for much of the first half foul trouble. Robinson sits for much of the second half foul trouble, and yet Michigan double-digit lead almost the whole way.
Solid performance. Yeah, not having enough answers besides the post-up play.
It was an 18-4 start in this game. Indiana didn't have a field goal until 7.5 minutes in. Wagner.
Got it. Ooh, I thought it was right on, didn't you?
I did. Online.
The other thing about Indiana coming in here, Michigan's hard to play because you can't simulate all the spreads and the ability to shoot. I guess out of bounds there by Wagner when he touched the ball.
That's right.
But picture yourself, you play all these different offenses against them, and then you come and see your guy is 22, 24 feet away, and then you've got to jam and help and recover to a great shooter. It is difficult.
The unique wrinkles the Wolverines show you.
Well, John was talking yesterday about Pete Carroll, saying it must have been tough to play against Pete at Princeton with no shot clock. And there's a lot of similarities, and yet dissimilar in what Michigan runs.
7 to shoot.
Look at the mismatch. You got to give it to him.
Newkirk, Wagner takes it away from the guard. Wagner reaches in. He told us yesterday his dad is a handball goalie, and he has shown some nifty
With his hand, right,
hands.
and he waved the hands up in the air, too. His dad would be proud of that one. He's got a lot of juice, doesn't he? That'd be fun to be around. Even yesterday at the end of practice, remember he was doing a little hula dance while John was chatting away?
Is that what that was, hula?
Well, something similar anyhow.
We mentioned this earlier, but I mean, Wagner's been a solid player for Michigan the last 2 years. He looks different. He's playing with a different pep as a junior.
Mm-hmm. And I think part of it is that feeling the NBA out. There's suggestions about things he should work on. And he said he wouldn't trade these years, would he? It's so much fun, and friendships have developed here.
And that discussion about the NBA leaving and coming back, he said, yeah, I've heard it for years about it's fun to be in college, and when you get to the pros, it's a job. Until you really experience that, he said it was a decision I haven't regretted for a second to come back for his junior year.
And of course, having Dirk Nowitzki as somewhat of a counselor, good job walling up and a pretty good counter.
Morgan 20 in the game for Indiana, only Hoosier in double-figure scoring. So where does Indiana go from here? You have a
tough
great,
games.
yeah, absolutely.
Goodness.
It's Iowa next. That loses to Notre Dame. There's the exclamation point for Wagner and the Wolverines.
And Robinson, he would mention, not really shooting it as well the second half, plus fouls, but a great find.
Jones step into.
Against Wagner, I think. Let's see if they go that way. Yep. Done a lot of nice things, but here's that little step and go, and the big fella really feels and understands the game. Get yourself in position to go. That dribble drags a guy an extra step, clears it out, and again, the difficulty of covering the corner and playing that slip guy can be devastating.
Talking about for the Hoosiers how you open up Archie Miller's first game as head coach at Indiana. You lose to Indiana State by 21. And the mantra was, we can do nothing about it now. Let's move on. Don't let that beat you more than once. Well, here it is, the Big Ten opener. And you're going to have a 0-1 start in Big Ten. But if that's what Archie Miller has been preaching the whole time for the Hoosiers, expect him to bounce back.
Oh, they'll move on. No question about it. This guy is a tough competitor. He instills confidence, and for what and how they played against Duke, it tells you a lot about these kids as well. So back to the drawing board. A lot of good teams they have to play is part of the difficulty, but he's setting the foundation, and this is a year he'll never forget.
Iowa
helps you as a coach too.
Iowa in 2 days at home. Matthews triple in the corner. The 11th made three of the game for Michigan, equaling their total from the Hoosiers' last visit to Ann Arbor.
Nice drop step, huh? Spin out, got on bar. Sometimes a disadvantage if you lean too far forward.
22 for Morgan.
Now, one of the things Archie will look at, and I'm sure get his team to appreciate, let's go in and get some power. Let's soften them up, get some points inside. Now, they'll be a quick jack team. Look at how they cover the floor. It's relentless. Little Wagner foul on Hartman. He's laughing at Colin.
How about this stretch for these teams? I mean, start with the ACC Big Ten Challenge, then you have the early start to Big Ten play, and still tough out of conference, including UCLA next Saturday on CBS for Michigan.
And down your way here, and of course these are not easy tasks, no question about it. But the idea is preparation. Good guys to keep believing himself. Hopefully Colin gets healthy. He's hurting today as well. And he's a very important guy, I think, for them as they progress this year. He's been there. He understands it.
So 4 straight wins for Michigan over Indiana. Michigan goes to 5-0 at home. Still the only losses to LSU and Maui, and then on the road at UNC. A bounce back for the Wolverines. For Indiana, you fall to 4-4 and 0-1 in Big Ten play. And the early test in conference competition won by Michigan after the 18-4 start. The Wolverines lead it all the way and win 69-55. 1-0 in the Big Ten for Michigan.
Indiana got them on a bad day, too. Michigan wounded coming home from Carolina. They were certainly on top of their game, and if you're not used to all the covers you need, it is difficult with an old team, much less integrating young people.
69-55, 4 straight now for the Wolverines over the Hoosiers. The Bill Raftery Talk Show is coming up next from Ann Arbor, Michigan, where the Wolverines roll over Indiana, 69-55.
We get to walk.
Jen.
Mark!